before I forget, make sure we record the fall 2025 class here. So thank you all for joining. I'm Professor Jay, and we are getting ready to just kick off with the Mentimeter. After that, you would transition into your regularly scheduled program with Miss Shakira. I just dropped the link in the chat for the Mentimeter. So if you guys could click that. Get this going here. All right. Are you guys seeing the Mentimeter screen?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and click that link. We'll see that. We should have a healthy amount of participants in there. I think we only have 9 right now. Give everyone a moment. Welcome to those who joined. We are getting ready to do our Mentimeter, so please click the link in the chat. We should have, what, 16 students? Or 15? 16. I think that's everybody. All right. If you're not in the Mentimeter, drop an N in the chat. I think we have everybody. All right. I think we're ready to go. All right. So let's get this party started. So answer the questions. The quicker you answer, the more points you get. This is really just a knowledge refresher here. So in general, what is a goal? What is a goal? So which one of these selections here? Tricky one, yeah. So SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely is what we're looking for there. All right, we got question number 2. 2 ways we can save money on taxes. Yes, retirement accounts, deductions. These allow you to add money and save on your taxes to these. All right. Next up, credit unions are for profit financial institutions owned by members. Is this true or false? Tricky, right? So that is false there. When should you begin to save? When's a good time to begin to save? By unanimous decision. All right, everyone got that one. A three-digit number that is compiled from the information about your borrowing and payment history. Is that credit bureau, or credit score? Nice. All right. Number six, gather and compile information from companies that lend to you to create your credit score. Yeah, but it's the credit bureau that's doing that. They're gathering and compiling that information. What is the recommended budget style? What was the recommended budget style? All right, 50, 30, 20. Right. Final three. What is one of the things in life that is a guarantee? Which one of these are guaranteed? Got it. We got it. Taxes. Guaranteed. Final two. What is one way to save money on taxes? Yes, owning a business. A lot of the tax code is actually written for businesses to take advantage of. What is a tax bracket? What does that mean, tax bracket? Specific tax rate you will pay on each portion of taxable income. All right. Final. Income taxation is a type of tax that the government imposes on individuals and business owners. True or false? True. All right. Let's see who came out on top here. Uh, Coach TJ beat everybody. And Janelle, S.O.A.R, good job. All right. At this point, I will stop sharing and I'll hand it over.
Good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? Could throw some emojis in the chat. Let me know how everyone's feeling. Good. Perfect. So we're going to jump right into it. But before we do that, you could come off mute. We're going to be as interactive as we were on Tuesday night. So tell me one good thing that happened today that you're happy that happened today.
Well, for me, I got a 17 out of 18 on my calculus test. So
Yay! That's amazing. I love it. Anyone else?
For my TSI test, I got a 449, which is like 1 point away from being college ready, but it was like 15 points higher than last time.
That's amazing. We're going to celebrate that. Anyone else?
Tomorrow's Friday, so I'm excited.
Yes.
Yay.
Love it. Yay, love it. So I'm not going to keep you guys longer. We're going to start with a quick review from what we covered on Tuesday. So let's start. What is the purpose of a bank? Why do we have banks? Anyone come off mute and tell me why we have banks?
To hold our money.
Very good. What are 3 types of banks that we covered on Tuesday? We covered 3 types.
Commercial banks,
Yep.
investment banks, and what was one? I forgot.
Anyone want to throw the third one? You got the first 2 right. It's one more.
Isn't it credit union?
It is. Very good. Very good, Ashley. Okay, so who controls the money supply?
The
The
government.
Feds.
Say it again. I heard the government. I heard something else.
Federal
The
Reserve.
The
Fed.
Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
Very good. The Feds. They'll call them the Feds. And then what are interest rates?
They give you, well, there are different types of interest rates.
There are
There's
different
the
type of
one-
interest rates.
There's the one in the bank when you keep it in your savings account that gives you
Yep.
back. And then there's when
Exactly.
you borrow money, they take money.
Yes, you got it. You nailed it. Interest rates is the fee they charge you to borrow money. So when you have your money in the bank account as a savings account, you get it. They pay you an interest rate to lend your money out. And then when you get a credit card or a loan, you pay an interest rate to borrow that money. So for a bonus question, how do they determine how much interest you pay when you're a borrower? What score are they looking at?
Your credit score?
Your credit score.
Credit score is exactly. So the higher your credit score is, how's your interest rate? Is it going to be a high interest rate or a low interest rate?
Lower.
Low interest rate, yeah, because they can trust you, not a risk to them. Next question. When do we use a debit card and when do we use a credit card?
We use a debit card like with everyday life, and we use like a
Mhm.
credit card when like for like important bills or like technology or like a car or something like
Emergency,
that.
something big, yeah. And what are the 2 factors that impact your credit score the most? So we covered a bunch of different factors, but there's 2 factors that have the highest rating when it comes to the scoring when it comes to your credit score.
Payment history, the first
Yep,
one.
payment history,
And how fast you pay your credit back.
how fast you pay it back, payment history, and then how much of your credit are you using. So they want to make sure that you're not using too much, because when you use too much, that shows that you can't really handle money. So making sure that you're paying your bills on time before the due date and making sure that you're not using all the available balance they give you. And then last question, how do you avoid banking fees? We spoke about overdraft fees. We spoke about minimum balance fees and
Not taking
ATM
too much
fees.
money out.
Not taking too much money out for the balance fees. I mean, for the overdraft fees.
Going to your own bank.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
what I meant.
exactly. And then the last one is the minimum balance fees. How do we avoid those?
By
Get
looking for
credit
the
card.
right.
Sorry.
You can say it.
Getting credit cards that don't have fees.
Yeah, getting accounts that don't have fees. We want to look for accounts that do not have fees. And one thing I did not mention on Tuesday that I want to mention is when you're looking at bank accounts, your accounts have to be FDIC insured. That means it's going to be a little label that says FDIC insured. That's important because if anything happens to the bank, you will receive your money up to $250,000. That's what they cover. So you don't want to go with any bank because they say they're going to give you a good rate. They're not going to charge you. You want to make sure they're FDIC insured. So with that, we're going to get into today's lesson, which is, where is it? And it's so crazy because I put everything out so I can be prepared. There it is right here. So let's go ahead and share this. Let's share. All right, so this is fundamentals of budgeting, and we're gonna skip to this. So today we're gonna be talking about how to manage your budget as an individual and a business owner. Budgeting is super important for so many reasons, but the number one reason is because it allows you to keep a better control and manage your money. A lot of people think they know how to budget, but they really don't. And I work with a lot of people from different backgrounds, different economic statuses, different environment, cultures. And one thing they struggle with is how to properly budget. So I'm going to give you guys a head start on it. So today's class is going to review the world of budgeting. I have some budgeting analysis that I want you guys to go through. We're going to look at some examples and you tell me what needs to be fixed. We're going to go through taxing. We're not going to play the life happens activity if we do not have enough time. I don't know if we're going to have enough time for tonight, but the budget analysis is going to be fun too. So can anyone tell me what a budget is?
How much money, like how much money you have set to spend at a certain time?
Yeah, exactly. It's like a plan. It's a plan, a guideline for your money. So it's all about you knowing how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. And that's going to help you definitely in your regular everyday lifestyle. But as business owners, that is going to be the bread and butter of whether your business continues to thrive or if you have to shut down. A lot of businesses have problems with cash flow, understanding what's coming in and what's going out and how to make the best of their money. So we're going to go through budgeting, really getting into budgeting today's class. So does anyone in here currently have a budget? I know you guys are still young, but does anyone have a budget? Do they help you help your parents with the budgeting or anything? I see a head
have
shake.
a budget.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You have a budget, good. Do you have a budget in style or you just write down everything you have?
I have a budget to where I feel like I don't spend more than I have.
Mm-hmm.
So I make
Good.
sure I know how much money I have. So say if I have $25, I'm only spending, I know I'm only spending 10 because I need to save more than I spend.
Yes.
So you always have to make sure that you have more than at least 60% saved at least.
Yes.
To spend.
That's important. It's very good. You got it. So what should your budget include? So we have some people that say they do have a budget. What are some categories that your budget includes?
Savings.
Savings, that's key.
Wants.
Wants, exactly.
Things that you need.
Things you need. Yeah, that's as simple as it is. Needs, wants, savings, and I would throw in investments. And then one more category we're going to cover tonight is going to be your emergencies, because in life, things happen. It sounds pretty simple, right, guys? Budgeting, write down your needs, your wants, what you want to save, your investment, your emergencies. But even though it sounds so simple, not many people do a budget. Even though 86%, I did a recent poll, little research, 86% of Americans say they budget, but 25% of them don't even double check and make sure. And one issue I had when I moved out, because I always was pretty good with money, but when I moved out on my own with my daughter, I used to write down everything I wanted to spend with my paycheck, the bills and everything. And in each month, no matter how much I wrote stuff down at the beginning of the month, I noticed that I was still missing some money. It was still a little short. So then I had to really understand what budget it is. And the first part of budgeting is to write down your needs, your wants, and your expenses. But the second part is to make sure that you're spending what you say you're going to spend. Because I don't know about you guys, but you say you have $25 and you say, I'm only going to spend 10, but then something happens and you got to spend $2 more and you got to spend $3. And next thing you know, you're at $25. And it happens very quickly when you're just you. Then when you add family and other responsibilities, it happens way faster than that. So tonight we're going to go through actually diving into the budget. We're going to go over some tools and some apps, and then we're going to look at some budgeting. So here is what I normally tell when I work with clients, is I tell them these are the categories that you want to go with. Your needs are going to be your rent, your mortgage, your utilities, your groceries, insurance, transportation, and your hygiene. These are the things that you absolutely have to have. Like you can't skip out on these. And the reason why I put insurance in there is because is anyone here familiar with what insurance is?
Yes.
Yes, tell me about it, Julian.
Like, for example, life insurance is when like you die, it goes to a loved one, and
Yep.
the government doesn't take that much from you.
Exactly, you got it. So life insurance is something that you get to protect your loved ones. It's tax-free, so yeah, the government does not get to touch that money. What other type of insurances do we have out there?
Health
Car
insurance.
Health
insurance.
insurance, car insurance.
I live in New Jersey, so to
Mhm.
drive a car, you have to have liability insurance.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can't drive a car.
Yeah. So insurance is important, but despite it being so important, many people skip that out of their needs. And insurance for the whole thing about insurance is a protection. It's a thing to protect you against paying for something out of pocket. So you get life insurance to protect your family so that when you pass away, they still have money coming in. Car insurance to protect you in case your car gets into an accident. Health insurance to protect you in case you get sick. So, and then phone insurance. So there's a lot of different types of insurances. So those are your needs with insurances. Now, the thing with needs is that it pretty much stays the same each month. The only thing that really changes is utilities or maybe groceries, but pretty much those things stay the same. Now, your wants are a little different. Those are things that you want to have. You don't necessarily need them to survive, but you would like to have them. So that's like vacation, entertainment, getting your hair done, your lashes done, your eyebrows done, your nails done. Those are all things you want. So that if anything was to happen, you can take some of those things off the table. The next one is going to be your savings and investments. So we spoke about savings accounts on Tuesday. We spoke about traditional accounts versus high yield savings accounts. And I told you that we was going to get into investment accounts. So I made this little thing for you guys. I know you guys are going to have a session with the what you call it, with the investing of advanced investing, but I wanted to give you like a little sneak preview of things that you should have, and I'm going to share this in the classroom about invest in what you should invest in. And the reason why I want to go into this is because you're young, and investing now is going to pay off for you in the long run. And when you go to your next class, when you do advanced investment strategies, you're going to really understand how to invest. But I just want to show you why it's important for you to start investing now, and why it's critical for you to add it into your budget as you have your part-time jobs. Some people have businesses that they may start right away. That money you get from that, you want to put into those accounts. So the type of accounts you want to look at is going to be your Roth account, your IRA, which is your individual retirement account. You also want to look at accounts like brokerage accounts, where you could buy individual stocks or ETFs or index funds to help grow your money. So even though a lot of people don't look at savings and investment as a big part of their budget, I want you to change the narrative. You're young, you're the future. So understanding how finances work is going to benefit you in the long run. And especially since you guys are going to become business owners, you definitely want to understand how important it is for you to have a savings account and an investment account. Because when things hit the fan, and sometimes they do in life, no matter how prepared you try to be, you need to be able to fall back on something. And it's going to be your savings account, and it's going to be your investment account that's going to save you there. Any questions on that? I know that was a mouthful. Everyone's good? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Everyone's following along? Awesome, awesome. Now, when I said that you sometimes, then the last category, let's go over that first. It's going to be your emergency. So sometimes things happen in life. Anyone in here plan on having a car when they get older, or do they have a car now?
I have a car.
Michaela, you have a car?
Be in a car next year.
Your car next year. So one thing you have to understand is that cars break down. Things happen with cars. So before you get your car, you should be putting away a little budget, a little bit of your money to an emergency account for that, just in case something happens. So for those who have cars in here, what are some things that can go wrong with your car?
You can get a scratch on your car.
You get a scratch on your car, accidents, flat
Get a
tires.
flat
Yeah,
tire.
flat
I was gonna
tire.
say,
Mm-hmm.
number
And
one.
Yep. And then you have regular maintenance of your car. You got to get an oil change. You got to get tune-ups. You got to check on stuff. Sometimes your engine might go out. Your transmission might go out. So it's important that you be proactive. And if this is something that you're going to get, you're going to make sure you put money to the side. Now, the biggest thing about budget and living is you want to keep your expenses as low as possible. That means you want to be able to, when you get your paycheck, you don't want the whole check to go to paying bills. So how do you keep your living expenses as low as possible, Ms. Shakira, when you have to pay the rent and the mortgage? You got to go with things that give you better options. So for now, you're young. You could choose between having a roommate, or you could have your own apartment. You could stay in your parents' house. You can find different ways to minimize your expenses when it comes to your needs. Grocery shopping, shopping bargains, checking things out, not buying the first thing that you see, just making sure that you're bargain shopping and getting the best rate. When it comes to utilities, unplugging stuff. You got to find different ways to make sure that your needs section does not overpower you. So when we go through budgeting styles, there's a budgeting style, and I saw it on the question, is the 50-30-20. Does anyone here remember what the 50-30-20 is? So I'll give you a little hint. 50% goes to your needs, 30% goes to your wants, and 20% goes to your savings and investments and emergency. And that's one budgeting style that you can use that will definitely help you with making sure you are maximizing your budget to the full. Now, there's also another budgeting style called zero-based budgeting. And what that is just that you are very particular about your budgeting and you spend everything you have. And it's not just going out buying things you don't need, being reckless with your money, is you actually sitting there allocating everything to that specific need, want, entertainment, savings, investing until everything is gone. And then the last budgeting style that I like to teach people about is the envelope system. Is anyone here familiar with the cash envelope system? No, no one knows about that. So that's an old school where you have an envelope that says, rent, groceries, utilities, and in those envelopes you put cash in there. And once the cash is spent, you don't have any more money left over. So that's another way to go budgeting. So out of those 3 budgeting styles that I just listed, which one would you choose?
I think I would choose a budgeting app.
The budget app, but the budget app is good, but which style would you choose? The 50-30-20, zero-based budgeting, or cash envelope?
50-30-20.
50-30-20.
50-30-20, yeah, me too. And budgeting apps for that is Rocket. Anyone have heard of Rocket?
I've heard it advertised a lot on YouTube.
Yeah, it's really good. I have it. I use it. It's so good because it reminds me, it lets me know if I'm spending too much based on what I put down in my categories. It lets me know if an extra bill came through. So what I try to teach people now is, back in the day, writing down your expenses and writing down your income is cool, but you need to have something that's checking on you. Do you know, because we use our phones as our wallets now, do you know how easy it is to overspend? It's just like click, 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 click. It's so easy. So this budgeting apps are going to help you, keep you in line, keep you on track with your spending until you get to the point where you can really, really be on top of your budgeting without having an app. And let me say something. I'm 41 years old. You still need something to fall back on. So remember, budgeting is not about just knowing what's coming in and coming out, but knowing how to actually make sure that you're managing your money properly. And with so much stuff going on, subscriptions coming through, you sign up for something and it keeps charging you, or you forget about this bill right here, having that reinforcement with that app is going to really help you. So let's just look at the app real quick. Let me just get out of this because I want you to see. Let me see what it looks like. Budget app. So this is it right here. So it tracks everything. You can see how it looks in there. It tells you how much money you spend. It even helps you with your credit cards, making sure that the bills are paid on time. And when you get older, and even now, it's a lot of things going on in life. So as many resources as you can use to help you to achieve your goals, I'm always for it. I always encourage people, let's get it, let's do it. So any questions on budgeting so far? No? All right. So you guys ready to do some analysis on people's budgets for me? Yeah? All right, perfect. So the first person is a college teen. They get $400 a month at a part-time job. Their expenses are cell phone, shopping, food takeout, and savings and entertainment. So what would you suggest to this college teen about their budgeting? Do you think that they're doing a good job with their finances?
No.
No? Tell me why, Michaela.
They're spending a lot of money on clothes and shopping and entertaining and having very little in their savings while they're making
Excellent.
400 a month.
Very good. So if you was to sit down with them, because I do this with families sometimes, I sit down with them and go through their budget. What's the first thing you would ask them to cut?
Entertainment, probably.
Entertainment. Entertainment. And how much of entertainment would you tell them to cut? Would you tell them to cut the entire thing or just a portion of it?
Portion.
Just
I
a
guess
portion
like
of
a
it,
half
yeah.
or maybe 60%.
Yeah, because you still want them to be able to enjoy themselves, but what is this savings is not enough. Because if they lose their job, how they're gonna pay their phone bill? If everything is going to entertainment. So yeah, I definitely agree with that analysis. Let's move on to the next one. So we have a single parent, makes $3,000 a month. They have their rent, car insurance, groceries, utilities, childcare, savings, and credit card and entertainment. What would you say about their budgeting skills?
Maybe savings could be raised up a little.
Yeah, savings have to be raised up a little because what does this single parent have?
They have childcare and car
They have child and
insurance.
car. And what did we just speak about? What happens with cars?
They break
down.
So if her car breaks down, she doesn't have enough in the savings. Where would she turn to after the savings she can't use her savings?
Credit
card. And then what's going to happen with her credit card debt?
It's going to lower her credit score.
It's going to lower her credit score. It's going to keep going up. So I definitely agree with you. I would definitely work on trying to maybe reduce the entertainment and subscriptions and actually put more into savings. How can she save on groceries?
She could go somewhere that's like cheaper or kind of budget a little bit, find things that are maybe sale.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. Very good. Okay, let's go to the next one. Because we have small business owners here. We have a small business owner, owns a bakery. Income is $6,500. The rent is $2,000. Supplies and ingredients is $2,200. You got employee wages, marketing, their personal salary, and they have a small business emergency fund. So what is one red flag on this so far that you see? There's plenty, but somebody give me one.
The business emergency fund?
Yes, very slow, very low. When they're a bakery, what do bakery owners have in their store?
Employees.
That can break down. Employees. What else they have that can break down?
Ovens and like
ovens.
all that stuff.
Yeah. So if an oven breaks down, do you think an oven's going to just cost $100? Nah, they need some more money. What else is going on? Look at their personal salary.
I feel like the personal salary is too high, and I feel like that the supplies and ingredients are also very highly expensive. That's
very highly
outrageous.
expensive. Yeah, it's outrageous. So what should they be doing when it comes to shopping for supplies and ingredients?
They need to go somewhere cheaper, like go to the dollar store. Go to the dollar store and get something, because $2,200 for supplies and ingredients when the savings fund is $100. The priorities are messed up with the money.
Yeah, because think about it. If they're only making $6,500 a month, and off the bat their rent and supplies are $4,200, that's more than half of what they're making. So what do they need to do with about their business revenue?
They need to decrease their costs.
They need to increase it. They need to increase it and find out how they can increase their revenue so that they can justify the rent for that spot. Remember what I said, when you have your living expenses, you want to make sure they're as low as possible. So the same thing goes for a business owner. You want to make sure that your monthly expenses are not eating away all your revenue, because then you're not, what are you in business for? This is a hobby. You might as well bake out your home and sell stuff online if makes sense. We're going to do one more and then we're going to take a break. Young professional. Ooh, this is fun. $4,200 a month is their income. Their rent is $1,600. They got student loans. They got a car, lease and insurance, groceries, dining out. They have a fund for traveling. They have in savings, and then they have entertainment and shopping. I see a lot of things going on with this person. Who wants to take the first jab of it?
I'll
They
say
should.
Daniel.
Oh, sorry. I think they should definitely lower their budget in dining out, especially.
Yeah.
And maybe groceries.
Yeah, it's crazy. Why you got 500 dining out and 400 groceries for one person?
And definitely the entertainment and shopping. I'm not really too sure about travel fund. Maybe it could lower to like 100, but otherwise it seems a little better than most of that.
Anybody else want to take a stab at that?
I think they could cut the majority of travel fund, unless it's like they're paying to be transported to like work or to school, as well as I think they could cut out dining out almost completely, or pick groceries or dining out, because it's around the same price, but it serves the same purpose. And entertainment and shopping can also go down.
Yeah. Yeah. Because what they could do is, what can they do if they have extra money from their entertainment and shopping? Where can they put that into?
In their savings.
Their savings, and something else is on there as well.
Investments.
Investments, student loans, yeah. Because you keep having student loans, that means you constantly paying money out. I mean, I had $49,000 in student loans when I graduated with my bachelor's. I just paid off my last loan right now, but you have that bill with you always. Like, you always have that $600, and that $600 takes away from you doing things like investing to grow more money. So when we're looking at our budget, we want to make sure that we're cutting expenses and we're paying off debt as soon as possible, as much as we can. Because one thing we learned about interest rates is student loans charge you interest. Even though it's a lower interest than a credit card, it's still an interest rate that you're paying extra money into. And if you remember what I said on Tuesday, we don't like to give away any extra money. If we can avoid having to continue to pay that loan down, if we can avoid to having to pay that, then that leaves us with more money in our pocket to do things like invest, put into our business, put into the stock market, take ourselves somewhere nice. So that's the whole goal of budgeting, is to making sure that you are not only knowing what's coming in and coming out, that's going to be key and vital, but you're also finding ways to reduce as many expenses as you can possibly, especially those that are taken away from your ability to create wealth. Your goal is to become wealthy, and you can't do that if you're constantly paying down bills that could be taken care of by just sacrificing a little bit. $300 a month to go out and entertain. YouTube is free at home. You sit down, you can watch YouTube. It sounds boring, but I'd rather take that money that I'm spending there and put it to the student loans to pay that down. Any questions on that so far? I think you guys are really good with that. So before we get into the next one, we'll take a 10-minute break. I think that's what the schedule said. We'll take a quick break of 10 minutes.
We can do it 10 if you want.
10 minutes is cool? All right.
Okay.
So we'll come back at 7:23, and then we're going to get into budgeting as a business owner. Sounds cool to everybody? Thumbs up? All right, cool. Everybody's ready? Everyone's back now? Yeah. All right, perfect. So just so everyone's back. Perfect. All right. So I know we covered a lot with budgeting, with making sure that our expenses are low. We hit in every category. And now we're going to talk about budgeting as a business owner. And it's not much different from running your own household, but except for you have to make sure that you have enough money, enough profit coming in each year. So the difference between budgeting in your household and budgeting as a business owner is that for your household, you're working for someone. So you're going to get a check every bi-weekly, every week, weekly, whatever, however your payment structure is. When you're a business owner, you're the person that's paying out. So that means you're paying yourself out or you're paying out your employees. So while the budgeting is similar, it's a little bit more complex for a business owner. You have to hit more angles. So with a homeowner, with individual, you have a basic, you can use the budgeting app, you can write it down, you could do whatever you want, 50, 30, 20 or not. But with a business owner, there's some documents that you have to learn. Cash flow, balance sheets, and income statements. Now, these are going to be key in making sure that your business is profitable. Because like I said earlier, you don't want to go into a business like the bakery owner and you're not making a profit, where everything you're making is being taken from expenses. That's not a business, that's a hobby. So you want to make sure that when you go into a business, you're making money. That's the goal of it. So your cash flow sheet is going to tell you exactly how much money is coming in and out. Now, that is going to determine if your business is not just that it's profitable, but if you're actually seeing that profit. There are a lot of companies out there who on paper look amazing. Their figures are awesome, but their expenses are eating away at their profit. So when you have your balance sheet, that's what's going to come in and making sure that you're, hold on, my daughter, 1 second. Serenity, you have to sit down. Sorry about that. So your balance sheet is going to show your assets and liabilities. So does anyone here know what an asset is and what a liability is?
I think a liability would be something that could put you at risk for a negative impact.
Exactly. It's something that you're gonna owe. And so if a liability is something that you owe, what do you think an asset is?
Isn't an asset something that helps you?
Yes. It's something that you own that's going to bring you more money. So as a business owner, you want to make sure that you have cash coming in and out. And you also want to make sure that your assets are outweighing your liabilities. Because what we say when we do a formula is your assets minus your liabilities is going to equal your net worth. Has anyone heard the word net worth before? Net worth.
Yes.
Julian, tell me about it.
It's like how much you're worth over a period, over your whole life, basically. How much you
exactly.
spend.
Yeah. How much you earn.
Yeah.
Yep. So when you're doing your business, you want to make sure that you have more assets than liabilities. Your cash is coming in and out, and your net worth is going to grow each year. So as young professionals, young entrepreneurs, young financial advocates, your goal in life is to become wealthy, and you become wealthy by increasing your net worth, having more assets than your liabilities, and that's what's going to keep you afloat. Also, as a business owner, you want to make sure that you have revenue coming in, that you're profitable. Each year, you want to make sure that you're increasing that revenue, that you're growing, that your business is growing, that your business is scaling. So we have some entrepreneurs in here. Tell me about some of the businesses that you guys want to start or have started already.
Well, I have that as like my plan B, but like my plan B is to like maybe start like something related to fashion, like a fashion business.
That's cool. So what do you like about fashion? How does fashion make you feel?
I don't know. I just like, it makes me really happy when I can like wear an outfit that looks really good and stuff.
Cool. That's cool. Anybody else out there?
I really want to open cosmetologist business, because everybody wants to do their nails, everyone wants to have their hair done, and I feel it will be really profitable if I will have, professional workers.
Yeah. Julian, I know you
and it's something that will be always needed. Like
yes,
girls
everybody wants to look beautiful.
know,
Yeah. Everybody wants to look beautiful. They're good. The
not
beauty
even
industry
girls.
is yeah, beauty industry is billions, billions, billions. So that's a good. Anyone else have a business they're thinking of starting, or they
I started my own small business.
Mm-hmm.
I make eternal flowers. Like the
Oh,
flower
nice.
bouquets. Yeah.
That's cool. Are you budgeting right now for that? How's your budgeting looking?
I'm still working on that a little.
Mm-hmm. You
But
taking notes right now?
oh yeah, I literally
Yeah,
bought a new
yeah.
notebook yesterday so I could take my
Cool,
notes.
cool, cool, cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is gonna help you.
Yeah.
So revenue is important. And one thing about revenue with businesses is you have to think about, anyone ever heard of the saying you need more than one income, or one income is close to none? Anyone ever heard of that saying? Same thing with a
Yes.
business. Yeah. When a business, you need to have multiple streams of revenue coming in. So for instance, for the fashion, you want to either help people style people, design clothes, have, teach people how to get into the fashion industry. For cosmetology, you want to have hair, nails, eyelashes, anything that people like that's beauty related. So when you're starting your business as a business owner, to help you with your revenue is you want to make sure you're maximizing on everything your business has to offer. For the flowers, are you doing weddings? Are you doing in personalized bouquets? Like, how are you bringing as much revenue in as possible? That's going to help with your overall budgeting, because it's going to grow your business. Just like we saw the bakery owner, he wasn't bringing in much revenue. He probably just was doing just bakery orders and not doing online orders, not going out doing catering events with his baked goods. So as a business owner, when you're doing your budget, looking at your cash flow and then also finding ways to bring in more revenue to your business is going to be key. Another thing with business owners is going to be similar to we talk about needs and wants, where your needs basically stay the same. Those are going to be called fixed variables, fixed and fixed income, fixed costs, and then you have your variable costs. So variable costs means they're going to change from day to day. So as a business owner, understanding and identifying what your fixed costs are and what your variable costs are is going to help you with your budgeting. Because for instance, we know that Con Edison goes up and down. My Con Edison bill in July was $400. In the wintertime, it's about $100 or $200. So those are examples of variable costs. And as a business owner, you have a lot of things that are going to fluctuate. So what would you think would be the best thing to do if you have costs that go up and down as a business owner? What should you be doing to prepare for that?
I feel like save some money if it increases, and
Yeah.
at the time when it decreases, save money for the time when it increases.
Exactly. You got it. You got it, Nadia. Right on the money. When you're looking at your budget for a business owner, you want to factor in those times where things are going to go up out of what they normally are. So we look at that as seasonality. We look at the seasons. We know that maybe in the summertime, business might be slower than in the wintertime. So in the summertime, we're going to do things that's going to conserve our expenses. We're not going to spend too much. In the wintertime, we're going to put money away for the summertime because we know that the summertime is slower. For instance, in my day job, I'm a director of operations. We do rehearsal studio spaces. And I know that that's it. Having one stream of income for that company is not enough. So I started a subscription-based business because I know that we need more revenue coming in. This will help us during the times where it's slow period. We have people that's paying us a monthly fee. So we're collecting revenue from them. So understanding your costs as on the whole, as a business owner, knowing what seasons are slower, what seasons are bigger, is going to help you plan out your expenses and make sure that you are never in the red as a business owner. Owner's compensation, savings, and investments. Just like investing and saving was crucial as a personal budget, is even more important as a business owner because things happen in a business. You have employees to pay out salaries. You have insurance to pay out on a different level. You have expenses. Being a business owner is expensive. So that's why I say to people, you don't want to just go in business and break even. You want to make sure that you're making money because owning a business is very expensive. You got workers' comp, you got benefits, you have salaries, you have all these things you have to think about. So the main point is to start to look at the big picture, look at everything you're going to have to pay for and plan for it. Any questions on that? No? Okay, cool. Let's see what else. Let's go to the next one. So let's do some, now that we understand budgeting skills as a business owner, let's do some budgeting for business owners. So we have a hairstylist who's self-employed. She makes $4,800 a month. She has a booth rental, she has supplies, she has taxes, transportation, her personal rent. She got food and takeout, savings, clothing, and entertainment. So looking at her budget, what are some red flags that she has?
Her food and
Takeout.
takeout.
Food and takeout.
And her clothing and appearance is way too high.
Yeah, it's kind of high. She said there's a work image, but what do you guys think? What can she do for that?
Lower it to like 200?
She could lower it.
She could go somewhere cheaper for her clothes.
Consignment shopping, bring it down.
I also think she can go somewhere cheaper for her supplies because her supplies are like $600.
Yeah, supplies are high. So what else can she do to bring in more revenue?
Increase her savings.
And yeah, she definitely needs to increase her savings. That $100 is not enough.
She could try to advertise to more customers, so improve her marketing.
Yeah. What else can she add to, if she's a hairstylist, what do people do? What do they use in their hair?
Hair products.
Hair products.
She could dye hair and stuff, maybe.
Yeah. She can offer dyeing services outside of the salon. She could create her own hair products, or she could partner with a hair company. Go ahead.
She can even become like a traveling hairstylist. Like you know how like they go to people's houses and stuff. That also can make her more money. Or she could also like advertise it on like social media or put up flyers. Or she could do better with advertising and get herself out there more. I feel like she's probably not implying herself as much as she should be.
Yes, I love that. I love that breakdown. Yeah. The goal is that she needs to look at these expenses and try to bring them down some and try to bring in more revenue. This is where her budgeting is going to come into play. Let's look at one more. We have a clothing store owner. They look like they're making money, $10,000 a month. Store rent, utilities, inventory, employees, marketing, business loan repayment, and owner salary. Now, tell me about this person.
They spend a lot on inventory, like getting clothing, accessories, and I feel like they can move to somewhere that might be cheaper than 3,200.
Where would you think would be a good spot to outsource?
You mean for inventory or like
for clothing and accessories?
You could try to buy it more in bulk, like specific things in bulk, so they can get like cheaper deals.
Yeah. What else can they do about, let's see, marketing ads? Do you think 600 is a good amount to spend on marketing and advertising?
I mean, if they just starting, it's what they have to do to bring more people.
More clientele in, yeah.
Yeah, more clients.
Yep. One thing about this is that the revenue is good. 10,000 a month is good for the beginning, but they're being eaten up with store rent and utilities, which is really kind of high. What do you guys think about? Someone said charge up more money. Well, yeah. What do you guys think about starting something that you can do online and in person?
I mean, they can create a website and sell products through the website.
Yeah.
They could also just go on like platforms like Amazon, or maybe like I know people advertise on TikTok Shop, things like that, and advertise themselves because that's pretty much free.
Yeah, very good. I think Karen, you had something?
Oh, no, I was just saying they could appeal to like 2 different audiences. And also maybe, I mean, I can see where it's good and like maybe raising the amount of marketing money or
Yeah.
maybe keeping it at the same, but I think it could be a little lower, especially for like how much money they're making. And then they could cut back on like where what store they're renting out, or like
Yeah.
change to a different.
Now let's go back to the TikTok idea. I like the TikTok idea because this is going to be helpful for you with your business. What does TikTok do? You can sell, and what else does it do for you?
You can advertise with videos.
It advertises in marketing, and it's free. Yeah. Yeah. So when you're looking at, when a business owner and you're looking at your budgeting, you got to be very creative and think outside the box, and not just think that just this one way you're doing something is the only way you can do it. You have a brick and mortar store, but you can have online sales. You can sell TikTok. TikTok is making a lot of people wealthy, rich, because you reach so many different people. And it's so easy to buy on TikTok. I go in there and I end up buying so much stuff because you just hit buy and it automatically goes to your Apple Pay, and now you have a package in your door. So I want you guys to take home that when you have Helena, you have a question?
Yeah, I had an idea for marketing. They could also just hire an intern. Like, you don't have to necessarily pay the intern, but someone maybe in like high school or college who's interested in marketing to do like their marketing on social media, so they don't have to spend any more, but they like also get like outreach.
Excellent idea. Exactly. That's a very good idea. Always making sure you're thinking outside the box and be using as many resources as you can. And if you get stuff for free, that's the icing on the cake. So you guys killed that one. You did really good with that. Now let's talk about what everyone wants to talk about, and that's taxes. The taxes is one thing that you always have to pay, and it's always the one thing that's guaranteed in life. So what do you guys know about taxes?
Well, they take money from you.
But why do they just take money
Delaware
from you?
doesn't have any.
Delaware.
I know
They don't have
that
state tax? State tax, right?
I know that some taxes, especially for your income, it depends on how much you make. Like every amount of money, chunk of money that you make, that amount of taxes that is taxed.
We're gonna go into that in a while. So
you get
taxes
taxed at stores as well.
Say it again.
You get taxed at stores.
You get taxed all over. You get taxed when you make the money, when you spend the money, you get taxed everywhere. So taxes are a pain. They're a pain because when you start, making your paychecks at your jobs, or when you have a business and you start, having to pay business taxes and property taxes, you're going to be like, oh, I hate taxes. But why do we have taxes? It's how the government pays for things. It's how they pay for education, healthcare, public safety, infrastructure, everything. When they collect tax money from you, they're paying for things that we need to survive. But just because they're paying for things we survive doesn't mean we have to pay them. As a business owner, you are given, a little favor as a business owner. The government, the tax code is written to favor business owners and investors. So you guys are learning the hack right now of how not to pay so much in taxes. You still have to pay taxes, but not so much. So let's go through the different types of taxation. So you have income taxation, which is what the government imposes on business owners and individuals. There are 7 tax brackets out there. You're either going to pay 10%, 12%, 22%, 24%, 32%, or 35%. How much you pay depends on how you play the game. Like I said, the tax code is written in favor of business owners and investors. So when you become a business owner, you get to take advantage of what we call tax deductions. I love tax deductions. So I'm going to go over some tax deductions that are some of my favorite as a business owner. So you see this area right here, my home office, I get to write that off. So what that does is it reduces my tax liability. So let's say that I made $100,000 and they're going to tax me 24% of that. what they do is they take all my deductions for the year and they subtract that from what I make. And that becomes now my new tax liability. So I end up saving money. So as a business owner, you can write off your education, as long as it pertains to anything pertaining to your business, you can write off. Your education, if you need to travel for your business, you can write off. Meals, you get to write off your meals. So if you go out to dinner and you talk business, you get to write those meals off. If you have to travel, let's say you're a hairstylist and you got to go to a different country to look at a herb for a hair product you're going to make, you get to write that off. So being a business owner has its perks because it's a lot of work. You got to put in a lot of work, but in the end, you're making your own money and you get to write off stuff in taxes. So let's see. Credits. You got tax credits out there. Those are child credits. Those are education credits. Those are all things that help you save money on taxes. Your goal is to keep more money in your pocket. And when it comes to taxes, taxes will take money out your pocket. But if you learn how to play the game, you'll be able to keep more of that money in your pocket. Another way you can save on taxes is going to be with your retirement accounts. We spoke about the Roth account. We spoke about the IRA. Those accounts, whatever you contribute to that, for the 401k and the IRAs, I believe is like, no, the 401k is 19,000 and the IRAs is like 6,500. The Roth is like 6,500. Whatever you contribute to that, they reduce that in your tax liability. So that's another way for you to save money on taxes. So for those who have part-time jobs, summer jobs, jobs on their own, if you start your retirement account, you can help save money on your taxes right now. And then, of course, the main important thing is owning your business. Being a business owner is going to help you save money on taxes. We spoke about the deductions. We spoke about the tax credits and everything. So any questions on taxes or budgeting as a business owner? No? So who wants to share what they learned tonight about budgeting as a business owner or as an individual?
You have to save. Be prepared and save.
Be prepared.
Always have multiple sources of income.
Yep.
Before you get started on something serious like owning a business or even just being more independent, you have to know what sort of budget style you're going for.
Yep, exactly. Very good. I think I got something in the chat.
Minimum of just try to spend the minimum of your income.
Yeah. There's a little formula that I learned when I first started studying, like really studying finance. Save more than you spend. No, spend less than you make. Save more than you spend and invest more than you save. That's the formula. So making sure that you're not spending all your money, the money that you don't spend, you're saving it, and then making sure that you're investing more than you save. That's the key that's going to help you on this path. Someone said, even though there are a lot of work, the benefits are there for owning a business. Anyone else?
I learned that you have to have more assets than liabilities. Because if you have more liabilities than assets, then that can decrease your income and affect
your net worth. Yes, very good, very good.
I learned
Anyone else?
Tax code. They kind of prefer like business owners and investors. So it'd be like a good idea to invest or start your own business if you're interested.
Yes.
Make sure you're putting your money in the right places and not the wrong places. Like, don't spend too much on some wants. You have to also be balanced and put them in needs as well.
Excellent.
In your savings account.
Very good.
To stay open-minded when it comes to sources of income.
Maximize on your potential. You guys are very smart. You took those little scenarios I gave you and you came up with different ways to make money and to save money. So just keep that will going with everything in life. How can I maximize on this idea? How can I save money and keep the most money in my pocket? That's what it's all about, keeping the most money in your pocket. Anyone else?
I learned the difference between cash flow sheet and balance sheet.
Yeah. Yep.
I was thinking about that pattern. If you spend your money on your wants, isn't it would be better if you send the same amount of money you spend on your wants to your savings account? For example, you bought a little thing, for example, a ring for $100. So you spend $100 on your ring. So you put $100 on your savings account.
I love that. Yes, I love that. That's a good idea. Whatever you buy, you got to put in your savings account or in your investment account. Excellent. All right. So yeah. So if there's no more thing, I learned a lot from you guys. You guys are very, very smart. I want you guys to continue to be open-minded, to learn, to grow, be driven because I'm overwhelmed with how engaged you guys were, the ideas you came, how you broke down the budget. I work with families and teach and do their budget with them. So like you guys know that. So I'm very proud of you guys. Everyone give themselves a round of applause. You're going into the weekend being superstars and shining. So yeah, let me stop sharing. And then I don't know if Professor JT wants to join on.
We are putting the survey for them to complete. It's
Okay,
in the chat. So complete
Yeah, I
the
finished
survey,
on
and when you
time.
guys are,
Yay.
yeah, so when you guys are done, just put a D in the chat.
Okay. All right, guys. Good night. Enjoy the rest of the series. I know you guys are going to be rock stars. Can't wait to hear all the good things. And everyone have a great weekend, okay? All right, bye.
Thank you. Whoops. Screen go.
Hey, Missy.
Hey. There we are. 4.
All right. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
All right, you too.